What's up, YouTube family? Lou here with another Guy Like Collectibles video. Today, a couple things I wanted to talk about real quick. First thing, I wanted to address the Dave Parker situation, his death. Super sad. I know the baseball world is feeling it, especially with him having a month to go being inducted as far as giving his speech and all that. So it kind of sucks, you know what I mean, that, you know, he died before he get there. The only good thing is that I'm happy that he knew that he was going into the Hall of Fame. So it's kind of bittersweet, though, you know what I mean? I was looking forward to hearing him talk, even though I know he was sick with the Parkinson's and all that. But, you know, hearing him talk back in December when they announced it, it was kind of cool to hear him, you know, still joke around about stuff and all that. But it's sad, you know, I wish they would have got him in a lot sooner. He should have been in a lot sooner, you know. And it kind of goes back to the point of, you know, to me personally, you know, the Hall of Fame is not you're not getting into the Hall of Fame because you're a good person. You're not getting into the Hall of Fame because you never made any mistakes in life. You're getting into the Hall of Fame based on your accolades and what you did on the field in the sport. And, you know, I think a lot of these guys are being punished, whether it's personal, you know, domestic situations at home or drug use or whatever it is that they had outside of the game, and, you know, they're being penalized for it, and because of that, you know, they're not allowing these guys to get in when they should. I think the same happened with Dick Allen, you know. So, you know, it's sad. It's like I said, it's bittersweet. I'm happy that he knew he was going into the Hall, that he got elected. It just sucks that he won't be able to give his speech. So I just wanted to show a couple of his cards real quick. You know, I did post this on my page. His rookie card. Man, this lighting is crazy. No matter how much light you try to get. But I picked this up about 6 months ago, right around the time he got elected. Here's the 79 Topps. Really cool card. Then a couple of his Kellogg's. This is the 80. Uh, 81. This one is nice. I like the yellow on yellow. Then his 82. Then I had this here. This is, I don't know, this is 81. It looks like an 81. This is the Topps baseball scratch off. This one's pretty nice. Then the 82 Donners Diamond Kings. Really nice. Dick Perez. Nice image. Love that old school hat. Here he is with the red at 87. '88. This is another 88 for Donruss. The 89 Donruss. When he was with Oakland. He won another title with them. And then his Topps Traded. I really love this card. It's just a great image of him smiling. It's funny, man. I get all nostalgic when stuff like that happens, that guys pass away and all that. And I started watching his documentary from the Major League Baseball Network presents, and I started watching it, and man, I felt so bad, man. I almost got emotional watching it. You know what I mean? And seeing him like that, and that was like 6 years ago. I think he was 64 when that documentary took place. So I don't know how many of you guys get emotional like that, like, watching these players that you saw growing up. Even though I saw Dave Parker like when he was with Cincinnati, because I was too young to remember him with the Pirates, because I think his last year with the Pirates might have been what, 80, 83? No, 84. So in 85, I think he went to the Reds, and that's when I started collecting around 86, 87. So I saw him with the Reds, and then I saw him with the A's. But yeah, man, it's pretty sad. And I got all nostalgic, started watching stuff, and then I started watching there was a Gary Carter one, and then that hit me in my feelings, man, because I know he died of cancer and all that, and it's just like, man, this sucks. And I don't know if you guys go through that, like when you see a player or you watching a documentary, like you start going through all your old cards and looking at their cards and stuff. I was doing that with Carter. But it's just wild. But earlier today, I was going through one of my old boxes, and as I'm going through the box, I find my Kevin Maas 1990 Topps Traded. And the funny thing is that months ago, I made a video where I was talking about if there was ever a card that you ever thought you were going to get rich off of. And I had mentioned when I was a kid, 1990, I was 11, 12 years old. And I remember when I got the Kevin Maas card, I was like super excited because he had like 22 home runs that year. And I was like, oh, he's gonna be like the next Don Mattingly and all this other stuff. I was like getting all hyped that he was gonna be the next big thing, for the Yankees. And I thought that card was gonna make me rich. So back then, in the story, I was saying I had mentioned that I had wrote on the card, but not on the actual card. I had put it in a penny sleeve, and I ended up like an idiot. You're 11, you're 12, whatever, and I didn't even think about it. I was just like, I took a piece, like a little sticker, and I put it on the plastic, on the penny sleeve. And I wrote $3 on it because at the time the Beckett price guide said it was worth $3. So I put $3 on it, right? But I didn't put it on the sticker first and then put the sticker on the plastic. I wrote it while the card was inside. So it was like a big $3 written on the card, like an imprint of it. And I had mentioned it, right? Now, I had found the card again, and I ended up buying another copy of it when I saw it for like $1 or whatever in the dollar bin or quarter bin, whatever. So I picked it up. So I had talked about it, but this wasn't the original one I had as a kid. So I found the one I had as a kid. This is the original one that I had when I was like 11 and 12 years old. So I'm going to show you the imprint. I know you saw it there. There it goes. $3. And I was like, damn. And I was so crushed when I took it out the sleeve one day and I noticed that it had I was like, oh, it's not worth $3 no more. So the funny thing is, I was like, man, let me look at one of the old Beckett books, So I found my 1990 Beckett, and I went to it if I could see what it was going for. So in this particular book, this is 1990, but this is December of 1990. So at this time, the Topps traded Kevin Maas. How much was it going for? It was going for $2.50. So I don't know if you'll be able to see this because the print is so small. I can't even hardly see it. But the big card in this set, besides the Kevin Maas, was the Dave Justice and John Orlud. But right where my middle finger is, you see Kevin Maas, rookie, 250. So this must have been before, either I wrote that before or after. I know I found the price on Beckett. But then the funny thing is, I looked at another Beckett that I have, a 92 Beckett. And this is 2 years later. I wanted to, just out of curiosity, I was like, man, what was it worth 2 years later? Because this is what, December of 92. So this is exactly 2 years later from that issue. That's December 90. This is December of 92. And Kevin Maas. Okay, here we go. Kevin Maas traded was now worth 30 cents with the arrow going down. So, man, talking about a big drop, And here I was thinking that I was going to get rich off of a Kevin Maas card. But it's so funny, man, to find. So, like how do you get rid of a card like that? You know what I mean? Like, this kind of card, yeah, it's not worth anything and it's damaged or whatever. But you know what? The memories of being a kid and having and owning this card as a kid and being so excited about it. It's like the memories that it gives you. It's like, man, it's so awesome. It is so awesome. So it took me back when I found it today and I said, oh my God. And then I immediately hit up my buddy Hugo from Signs of the Pastime, because when I made that video before, he had mentioned in the comments, he was like, oh, you should show the card. You should show the card. And I said, man, I got to look for that card. I don't know where it's at. So I finally found it. And it was just me just digging through an old box, because I was just looking through it to see if I find any Hall of Famers. Time to time again, I like to skim through my old boxes and just sit down, pull out one of those big 4,000, 5,000 card boxes and just start looking through them just to see what's in there. Maybe I passed something I missed. And I found it. And I was super happy to find this. So now I got both of them. I got the newer one, the better version. Not the better in the sense of that it's better than this one, but this one is in near mint. And this one, not so much. But this is a memory, you know what I mean? And it's a beautiful memory, because it makes me think about that time when I was a kid, how excited I was to have this card. As a Yankee fan, as a kid, just being a collector, just having fun. And that's what it was all about. And the last thing before I get out of here, because I don't want to make the video too long, I will be starting that series that I talked about, If I Could Only Have One. And in the comments, I had gotten people that had wanted me to do Juan Gonzalez, Andre Dawson, Thurman Munson, Don Mattingly, and 2 people voted for Roberto Alomar. And then another person said to do a player that I got to see, right? That I got to see play. And that's a lot of players, so it doesn't really narrow it down. But, I think what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to start with, because I have a lot of his cards, I think I'm going to just start with Juan Gonzalez, only because, he's a, believe it or not, he's always been a popular person in the hobby. Even though a lot of his cards are not worth big money at all, but during his time, his inserts were so big, and he was so popular back then, you know what I mean? Gone, Gonzalez. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna start off with Juan Gonzalez, and I'll talk about him for a little bit. Talk about his stats, and then just go into the cards. And the one that I would pick, if I had to like display only one card of each player that I collect in my whole wall, like what would be that card that I would want representing him. So I'll be doing that on the next one. So thanks for tuning in. And I'll see you on the next one. Take care. God bless and be safe. Peace.